Hey everybody, checking in with some more content for the Content Minds here on YouTube. Today I am checking in from beautiful Adelaide, Australia. I've just been down here working on some projects related to Phase 2 of the AUKUS collaboration with the Australians and the folks from the UK, and wanted to sort of chime in a little bit. I'd seen some things about AUKUS in the news and potential expansion. I basically have two overarching thoughts from what was a very productive and collaborative week of work on AI and machine learning. The first is I certainly think that initiatives like AUKUS, I mean, we've seen time and again as open societies, as democracies, collaborate and grow their coalition abilities if and when conflict occurs with authoritarian states. It tends to follow a particular pattern, and that pattern more or less tends to be that at the initial stages of the conflict, where the authoritarian state has sort of the first mover advantages and can rely and benefit from really tight, coordinated vertical chains of command and leadership and kind of the decisiveness that comes with an authoritarian regime. At that stage of a conflict, those regimes tend to do quite well. You can think about, obviously, World War II is an excellent example. I would also point to the Korean War as another excellent example. But regardless of the examples, I think the point holds that we should expect in any potential conflict with the People's Republic of China for the initial stages of that conflict to be quite desperate for those folks opposing that regime. Conversely, as we've seen in the past, it tends to be the case that open societies, democracies, liberal regimes, while certainly slow to anger and perhaps even slower to actually plan ahead for something, once a conflict kicks off, there tends to be a greater emphasis on the power and sort of sustained political economy of those regimes. And that's really what I think the AUKUS idea kind of rests upon, right? Is that if you can gather together a coalition of many different actors with resilient political economies, while the initial action may not be quite as fast as you would like, over the long run, that coalition of friends will prove out. So this isn't exactly breaking any news, right? Obviously, this is the point of alliances, but I think in the case of AUKUS, there's a lot of hand-wringing around what China's could do, is going to do, and there tends to kind of be, at this particular moment, I think there was an underreaction for many years about the risk posed by China, and we're currently kind of experiencing the reflex of that, many people realizing that they did underreact, and now moving into sort of an overreaction. But I think what AUKUS, really exemplifies is, in a way, preemptively, as much as it can, kind of be seductive to think about what we're not doing and how far we have to go. And I certainly agree we have a long way to go. What AUKUS is doing is laying that groundwork for collaboration, strategic and tactical collaboration, if need be, in a more forward-thinking way, and in a way that prioritizes, true multilateralism. And I think that's really powerful. And the reason, and I think some of the point that I wanted to make with this video was that there's value in that, in and of itself, but there's also, I think, an undersold value in that as a signal, right, to the People's Republic of China, right, that there really is a deterrence potential to these kinds of collaborations, to indicate the willingness to collaborate, to indicate the technological and sort of capabilities based collaborations, to indicate the people-to-people contact type collaborations. All those things send a strong signal, whether we're close to being able to implement those steps or not. There's value, deterrent value there in and of itself. But I think we need to start to promote the organization in a little bit more of a robust way, and continue to highlight as explicitly as we can, right, the collaborative power, the integration efforts, the coalition building that's happening there, because each day that passes that coalition building gets emphasized, there is a day where China is further dissuaded from taking aggressive action, which is ultimately all, that anybody wants, right? This is not militarization for the sake of militarization. It's there to protect representative countries and sort of give them an avenue to defend themselves. So really, the more we can emphasize that collaboration, obviously there's things that you don't want to hand over, but the more we can emphasize broadly that collaboration is happening, that those communication standards are being shared, that those people-to-people contacts are being established and made more robust. Red tape is being cut in terms of being able to share technology, share capability, share communications. Those are all important things, and I think important things to signal as explicitly as possible, because the goal, I think, should first and foremost, not be to defeat China in a military conflict. It should first and foremost be to, dissuade China from initiating that conflict. So that's it for today. I wanted to kind of weigh in since I had some contact with this particular issue and get your thoughts on it and hear what everybody thinks about AUKUS. Thanks for watching.